we were very close, and we were looking at each other in this room, and our hands were on my chest, and we were looking like right into each other's eyes. And she says to me, Graham, did anyone ever tell you that you have ropey breasts? And I said, no, but thank you. And then she took her pen and she opened her folder, and my doctor was like, yeah, it's not a compliment, all right? So, and she wrote a lot of stuff down in her thing. So that was part of a physical. And my hot doctor was like, yeah, so you have ropey breasts, which don't necessarily mean anything. It could be nothing, but it also could be a sign of breast cancer. So we're gonna get you a mammogram at Mass General. So at the breast cancer center, the Avon Breast Cancer Center at Mass General Hospital in Boston. And I was like, cool. So I went to, so I had like a week and a half before the appointment, right? And I started just freaking out, right? I did a lot of Googling, and I was like totally conflicted, right? Because like I have breasts, and that's not great. I mean, everyone has breasts, but I have like larger than breasts. My breasts are bigger than I'd like, right? But I didn't want to lose them, right? This is a weird thing. I was like, but what if like someone cuts off my boobs, right? Like that's not cool, right? And I didn't know anyone who was a guy who had breast cancer, let alone a mammogram, right? And so I didn't know who to talk to. I couldn't, it was young, it was like early 30s, so none of the women I knew had a mammogram, or that I was willing to ask. And none of the guys, I was a firefighter and a cop, none of those guys were gonna talk to me about having a mammogram, right? So that was like straight out. So the only person I knew who'd had a mammogram was my mother. But if you thought I was going to ask her about something like that, because then I'd have to think of her boobs, and that's disgusting, right? So I didn't do that at all, right? Like so, but I was nervous, right? That I didn't want to be like a save the tatas. Like I didn't want to be the guy that I'd be like, oh, there's a guy, this guy Graham, he has boob removed, right? That's a thing, right? Like yeah, I didn't want that at all, right? So I was very nervous. So I got to the Avon Breast Cancer Center, and I went in, and the waiting room was full of people, obviously, who were going through various stages of breast cancer. And I was the only man there who was not wearing, who was wearing a hospital bracelet. Like all the other men were there with women, which got me sort of like feeling a lot of like, oh, I'm all alone here. Like everyone had a person, and I was not. I mean, again, I didn't tell anybody. I'm sure I could have had someone come with me if I wanted, but I was not telling anybody. But I had like this whole thing, this fear inside me about where I was, and I got really like this complex. So I started to pretend. I wore a Carhartt coat that day because I was like, I wanted to be extra manly when I went. And so I'm standing like up, and I'm like tapping on the HVAC unit, right? Because I wanted them to think that I'm just like a dude checking things, right? I'm not here to get anything checked out. I'm like specking out, like my hands up over vents, like trying to feel like, nah. Like you warm? You warm? You a little warm? You a little cold? You all right? No? All right. So I was like, I thought I was in, and then they were like, Graham Campbell, please come to the back. And I'm like, fuck, right? So I'm like, all right, gotta check some air back there too. All right, see you later. So I went into the back, and I don't know if, and that was where I saw the machine, the mammogram machine, which probably has a name. I don't know if I'm sure some of you have had mammograms. So it was clear when I saw this machine that a man had invented this machine. So if you're not aware of what a mammogram machine is, it's like two pieces of glass, right? And you put your tit in it, and then you smush the thing down, and it takes a picture of your tit, right? Your boob, right? So like this is clearly like a man made this, right? Like there's no, if like penis cancer was a thing, there's no way that you would just like stick your dick and have like an anvil come and like smush it, right? Like there's no way that would happen, right? Honestly, if men had penis cancer and there was a need for a diagnostic tool, right? There would be like this fleshlight device that you would like stick your cock into, right? And like when you stuck it all the way in, there'd be some voice that'd be like, too big, right? And then it would like take a picture and like you'd get a sticker and you'd be done, right? But ladies, I'm sorry. Men rule this terrible world, and so this is the device we have, right? So So I'm there, and you gotta like get your, now unfortunately, like this is a Goldilocks situation happening right now with my boobs, right? Because like they are too big for what I want them to be, but they're really too small to really do the work in the machine, right? So you gotta get like all the way in the machine, right? And they give you these bars, you're sticking, I'm like, right, sticking all the way in, right? So like, she's like, almost there, you're doing so good, I know, right? And then the other thing is, another problem that I don't know how it happens to a lot of women in this thing, but I have a very hairy chest, right? Like not like a Greek sailor, but like a hairy chest, right? It's very fine, like light hair, right? So, but hair I learned is the enemy of this machine, because who knew it could be foiled by hair, right? So she's like got her gloves on, and she's like moving each individual hair, like she's like almost. And that's hurt so much, right? And she's like, oh, almost there, right? Oh, you're doing so good. You're almost there, right? Like a child, like, right? And so finally, we finish, right? And picture taken, ta-da, right? Okay, so then she's like, now you go wait in this room for the doctor. It's like, okay. So I go, I'm waiting in the room for the doctor, and the doctor comes in, and there's a resident with her because it's a teaching hospital, and the resident's like super attractive, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, how you doing, right? And so she's like, Graham, I got good news. It's just it's some muscle or sinew, I don't know what it was. She's like, but it's not cancer. It's not a problem. I'm like, oh, good, right? I've like forgotten I could have had cancer, but I was like, oh, that's good. Good. Like this is good, all right. And so she's like, and now, like, Rebecca will talk to you about some, like, post-care stuff, like the resident. I'm like, all right, okay, right? So now, like, bizarrely, like this fever dream, I'm like, maybe I can give Rebecca my number, right? So she's like, okay, hi, here's the deal, like this and that, here's, do this, like, don't do this, I don't know, watch this video. And then I'm, like, reaching into my pocket to get my business card out. And I'm like digging in my pocket. And then she's like, and finally there's this pamphlet, and she hands me this pamphlet. And the pamphlet has like this cartoon man on it with boobs. And it says in like Comic Sans font, it says, gynecomastia, when men develop breasts, right? And then I'm like shoving like my card back. I'm like I'm terrified it's gonna fall out. Like I'm like, no, right? So I leave with my pamphlet, and I go back to my house, and I realize like I'm not going to be a poster child, but I am going to be a man with small boobs who lives alone for now. So that's good. Thank you.